when you hear him say that, how does that make you feel?
The reality is, and listen, I talk about how difficult January 6th was for me, 2024, not to mention 2020, because I believe very strongly that in spite of all the other nonsense that might be coming out of my former opponent, I was not about to degrade the role of Vice President of the United States around acknowledging a free and fair election and the peaceful transfer of power, which is part of the hallmark of who we have presented ourselves to be as the United States of America.
Do you regret not voicing your opinion in that moment?
Yes, and I actually have reflected on that, and I've written about that. I don't know. And on reflection, you know, and I talk about it in the context of asking a question of myself. And on my part, I do reflect on that and feel that there was a recklessness about not raising it with him. I talk about what was going through my head, right? And what was going through my head to not bring it up was that it would come off as being very self-serving, but I do think about it. And I also say, though, and I speak extensively about this, my concern about him running for re-election was completely separate from my admiration and knowledge about his capacity to serve as President of the United States, which was consistent and never wavered. Here's the distinction that I make. And having had the experience myself, it is one thing to have the capacity to govern. So you are an athlete, you may appreciate this kind of metaphor. Running for President of the United States is like being in a marathon at a sprinter's pace with people throwing tomatoes at you every step you take. And it takes an incredible amount of endurance and stamina. The distinction I make is about capacity to be president and what that election would require in that campaign, especially running against Donald Trump.